Morning friends, it is a vlog week because it's going to be an interesting week of new things, and I've just realised I'm wearing the wrong glasses. But basically I am heading to Berlin today. It is Tuesday. We had a very busy Monday yesterday trying to wrap up all the work that I had to wrap up, and I just was not feeling particularly well. But we managed to get a fair bit done, and then this morning I have had a shower, finished my packing, and yeah, just waiting for Beth before we head off to the airport. Ian is taking us. But yeah, this is the first time I've flown at all in 7 years. The last time I took a plane was 2019, summer of 2019. And it's the first time I've flown as a wheelchair user. I've flown with other mobility aids before, but not with my wheelchair, and definitely not with my power wheelchair. So I am slightly pretty anxious. So yeah, come along with us for a new adventure, and then an adventure in Berlin. Hey! We're on our way. We have got Ian, our driver for today. Chauffeur. Taxi, take us to Gatwick. And Beth's in the back. Hey. Our first adventure of the year, my first adventure of the year. We've got a few coming up, me and Beth.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do. Nadex?
Oh yeah.
Nadex. And then Ian and I have got Cornwall trip coming up. So there's quite a few adventures in the not too distant future. But our first one is Berlin, and it's big. Because it's the only one that is abroad. Beth and I have just been going through our German, our very limited German.
Yes, not very much.
But yeah, we are on our way, so I'll see you at the airport.
Oh, lovely stuff.
See you on Thursday.
See you next Thursday.
Let's go. Bye.
Let's go. Let's go to Berlin.
Okay. So our first port of call was the assistance reception, so we headed there first, where we made our own way then up into check-in, and I was very confused by these newfangled check yourself in situations. It's I'm just very confused at the moment. Everyone's been really helpful, but we do just seem to be going from one special assistance desk to the next with nothing really in between. So where are we supposed to go?
Through here.
Okay, let's go through that. So yeah, we are at Gatwick eating Wagamama's. We will be eating Wagamama's. Yes. And we will tell you all about our journey through the airport after we've eaten.
Yes. Food first.
Food first. But we're going to count how many Wagamama's Beth and I have this year. So this Wagamama's we're up to 4.
And every time we've got to do this and then compilate them together.
Yes, yeah, we'll have to at some point.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll get the food, same food every time.
Yeah, same.
Put my hair up for this.
She's getting prepared, friends. We are fed.
Fed and watered.
Fed and watered. We are fed and watered. And yeah, so let's just talk about the process of assistance and how we got in here and stuff, because this is the different thing. When I was walking disabled, i.e. stick or walker, I had a lot more assistance because I needed a lot more assistance than I do with my power chair. So for the most part, we've kind of gone from desk to desk and just been left to our own devices, which is perfectly good.
And they've offered help. They said,
yeah.
are you okay to do this? And then...
Exactly. Because that's, you know, when I was walking, that's where I'd use the buggies or the wheelchairs that they had here, as opposed to my own wheelchair. But with my power chair, I don't really need the help in the same way. And also we haven't had loads of luggage or anything, so it's not like Beth needs help carrying bags or anything, because there's one on her back and one on my wheelchair. So yeah, we... the first desk, we're just like, go upstairs or get in the lift. So we did that. They kind of sent us to a special assistance area, but there wasn't anything there. But we figured out where the EasyJet special assistance lane was, and the guys there just help us out. And they like did the stuff for my wheelchair, checked us in and did the stuff for my wheelchair. So it's got this little form on it, just to say, yeah, it's an electric mobility aid loading form, and it just says what it is and then how it's been, like how the circuit's been broken, basically. And then it's got a luggage tag on it as well. My plan is to take the battery out, I think. I'm not 100% sure how it works, because that was the thing, they sent us up here. This is the special assistance lounge, but they have like a desk here as well. And the guy before said that they were gonna, like when you come out of security, instead of going through duty free, you go to the far right, and you come there and you talk to them at the desk, and then there's a special assistance lounge here. You don't have to use it, you can go wander. We went to have a wander around the shops and got some bits, and had some Wagamamas. The tip that I think is a good tip, especially if you're travelling hand luggage only, is I packed a tote bag in my hand luggage so that we now have a plain bag. It's quite heavy because it's got a lot of water in it. We have a plain bag so that we can put our snacks and our water and all the things we want to hand when our rucksack's probably going to have to go in the overhead. I've got an air tag to put on my chair just to make sure it's coming with us. My plan is to take as much as possible off of it in terms of the sides and the basket and stuff, and then strap the seat down. We're travelling into a bit of a complete unknown now. So, we'll just see when our gate is called and head there, and it's okay. Not too nervous. A little bit.
We're fine.
The process of getting through the airport was really, really easy.
And because it's not busy right now, everything's a lot smoother anyway.
Because we didn't even have a separate line for security when they normally do, and I think that's just because it's so quiet. I think if it had been busier, there would be a separate line and they would take you through security like I've done in the past, but here there was no need to this afternoon. I guess it's a random Tuesday afternoon in February. There aren't that many people going anywhere. So, we will see you in the process of getting on the plane. Oh, but Beth made a good point. The point that you made in Wagamama's, that this isn't the first time I've been in a plane in 7 years, because I flew a plane last year. So I have to correct my statement. Yes. Apologies.
Yes.
I lied. I've been in a plane. The last time I went in a plane I was not flying was 7 years ago. And the last time I went through an airport, like, airports have changed so much. Beth was like, have you never done this before? Have you never done this before? And it's just because it's all so...
how the tables have turned.
It's because it's also digital now. And, like, the I don't know, I didn't actually see you go through the scanners at security where you have to, like, do a starfish, like, pose. Yeah. I mean,
that doesn't always happen, to be fair. Normally it's just, like...
the normal thing you walk through, doorway.
But
I just got pat down like normal. But they're always very good at airports and, like, ask if you have any pain or anything like that. So they've all been very good and very helpful. But the scanning, check-in and putting your own bags and stuff, like, I'm not ready for this digital age, man.
Sound like an old person.
I know, I really do. That's what happens when you haven't been in an airport in 7 years.
I bet that is quite a big difference, to be fair.
Yeah, I was just like, huh? And like you had to, like, scan your boarding pass to go through to security. I was like, what? And then I didn't actually, but Beth did. I had to go to a separate gate anyway. So so living the disabled life actually means that you get to do things the old-fashioned way. But so I'm happy with that. Yeah. Right, see you on the plane. So this was my first time flying as a wheelchair user and first time using an aisle chair. So I transferred over. There's a lot of straps. And the more we did this with my chair, the quicker we figured it out. I took my cushion on to sit on myself while Beth strapped the chair down, and we had an air tag on my chair as well. And these two guys were really nice and helpful and took me on to the plane. I had a lot of comments on Instagram like, why did you use an armchair when you can walk? But it's actually quite far and there's a step, and I can't walk as reliably as I used to these days. Plus, I'd have had to have brought a stick or a walker or something else to help me, so this made such a difference. And it was a better experience than I expected. I thought it was going to be more difficult, but I definitely recommend putting your cushion on a plane seat if you can, because that was not the most comfortable. If I had not, it was already fairly painful on my hips without it, but it was much better with it. But yeah, overall, first flight went pretty well.
Boarding process getting us away from London Gatwick on
And
time.
we got ourselves
Unfortunately, from this point
situated.
onwards, we do have to
I
start
had a window
offloading any
seat.
kind of bags on today's service.
Oh, yeah.
This will significantly delay us leaving Gatwick, pushing back your arrival time into Berlin.
And at this point I was just hoping that nothing happened to my wheelchair, but they put her down in the hold, and then it was time to get in the air. The one thing I forgot about with flying was that my ears always absolutely kill me, so I needed to remember some techniques for the next flight. But it was snowing as we came into Berlin, and guys, I cannot tell you how magical this looked. It looked like, you know, we were in a Disney film or something. And then it was time to get off the plane, back in the aisle chair. This aisle chair in Germany was very different to the one in the UK. The UK was definitely more comfortable, but we waited for everyone to get off, and then it was time for us to get off. Again, a lot of straps to get strapped in, but it was nice and easy to get off the plane. And we were finally in Berlin. We got off in one piece.
Woo! Who knows? Oh, it's snowing! Or there's snow.
Look at this massive fancy.
Okay, alright, okay, Berlin. Have fun.
It's not I'm pressing the closed door one.
Is it not the bottom one?
No. Closed door.
Anyone know? Comment in the comments if you know. Alright then.
Move away from the door.
Okay.
So we were picked up by a wheelchair accessible minivan and driven to our hotel, which is about half an hour, 45 minutes away from the airport. And this is just me showing how we got out of this van. This was a great company, if you can see the name of the van, to get the transfer with, and the snow was looking for, because I haven't seen snow in a while. I just managed to get back out of the van. Remember that my bag was on the back, but not to go too far, and then it was just a lift down, and so we could then get into our hotel. It was already quite late, it was like 10:30 by this point, so we were definitely ready for bed after a long old travel day. It was so funny with our driver because he understood very, very little English and we understood no German whatsoever. So it was an interesting ride, but he was really helpful and escorted us all the way to the door of the hotel, which was really kind of him, especially in the snow. So of course everything couldn't go quite to plan, because we got the transport that they'd arranged for us from the hotel from the airport to the hotel. I'm so tired. But we've got to the hotel and there were instructions on the booking. A, please have an accessible room. B, we wanted 2 beds, or they put that we wanted 2 beds. Beth and I truly don't really care, but it just shows that they haven't listened at all, because there's one big bed and that's me getting stuck on the bed as I try and get around it. Oh, here's Beth. What they said.
We're going to go down.
We're going down. Okay, they found us a different room. But yeah, the bathroom is not accessible. I can't even get into it. I was just saying that, of course, not everything could go right.
No.
Like, we got here.
Yeah.
We got here.
The chair's okay.
The chair's okay. We need to move rooms. Okay, so he made us go all the way down. Like, I waited in the room, Beth went down, and then he made both of us come all the way down to send us back up again to a different room. I'm just tired at this point, and I didn't need that. But thankfully, it was a very short-lived problem.
Yeah.
Because he's fixed it right away, and this is so much better. And Beth, do you want to recreate what you just did with the bathroom?
I said, well, this looks promising. Oh wow!
So I think the bathroom's better. Let's have a look. I'll turn you around. This is the room. So yes, we actually have some turning space in here, and then I will not run over Beth.
Beep beep beep.
Bathroom door. Oh yeah, well this is better, but there is still no chair in the shower, and still a lip. You know. So
it's the biggest.
And also, right, look. How am I supposed to see in that mirror? Think it through, people! Think it through! Hello, good morning from a very snowy Berlin. We are on our way to the studio where we're shooting the video podcast that we're doing today. And then we're going to have a bit of a explore and an adventure. But it's nice, it feels so wintry, but I have actual thermals on, so I feel nice and warm.
We came prepared.
And the C2, my power chair, my wheel C2, is going pretty well in the snow. I was a bit worried. We have only just started, and I realised that I shouldn't stop in the snow, in deeper snow, because that got me a bit stuck for a sec. But otherwise, pretty good. But yeah, look how snowy. It's so pretty. Then we arrived at Deutsche Welle for our recording of the podcast, and I was straight into hair and makeup, but I just needed some little touch-ups while we were hanging out with Vicky, the host of the show Freaks No More, before we went up into the studio and got ready.
And Vicky, you want my colleague to come to ready set with the powder makeup?
Yeah.
Yeah. So people here literally from everywhere. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, actually, yeah, of course, they're German people, but most of the people that work in the languages, they always get from their respective countries.
Yeah.
I don't work in the Bulgarian team.
No.
I don't want to, be honest. Yeah, I don't want to. Oh, also this corner is a bit creepy. Sorry for which side. It's like a shiny.
Oh, it is a little bit.
It's super creepy corner. Sorry. And it's so huge, like it's like we are 4,000 journalists. Where the studio crew sits, coat in the regie, and the studio is there. Maybe we can like have a sneak peek. One more take. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Time machine!
Time machine!
Yeah! Here was the studio and all the producers and sound team and camera people setting up. I was just getting in position and making sure my mics were in the right place with my chair next to the sofa. I loved all the cool lighting in here, it was really lovely. And once Vicky had got settled into their seat and we had another tiny quick touch up on the makeup front, pretty much ready to go after hair and makeup has been touched up. And if you want to watch the full episode that I appear in for Freaks No More, you can hit the little button up in the corner and it'll take you to watch the entire episode. I had so much fun doing this, and I really hope you enjoy the episode as well, because it was just, so much fun.
Notes. They're all...
Here we are just in the production room while Vicky was doing a little section of the podcast which they do disability history for, and in this version they were talking about the UK disability history, so that was fun to see behind the scenes. And then it's time to head back to our hotel and get some food, just showing off how my Will C2 does in the snow there, which I am really, really well. Hey friends, we're back in the hotel room. We had such an excellent time with Vicky at Freaks No More at Deutsche Welle, which is like a big international TV channel. I didn't realise it was so international. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great episode, but the episode won't be out until like April, I think, but I'll make sure that I link it when it does go live. But no, it was really good. The whole team there were really lovely, and we had a fab time. But now we are shattered. We obviously kind of explored the snow a little bit this morning, but not that much, but it's kind of turned a bit slushy, and we went into a shopping centre that's right over the road from our hotel, and just grabbed a Subway. But yeah, I'm just absolutely shattered. So it's, you know, it's only like 4 o'clock, but I'm back in bed, and I really wanted to explore some of Berlin, but in all honesty, I can't see me moving. But we do have tomorrow morning, so we'll see how we go. Beth's just gone down to reception again, because this morning when we had breakfast, we asked, because last night we realised there wasn't a shower chair of any kind, but I couldn't be asked to fight it then because I was just too tired after we'd already moved rooms once. Like, and this is like slightly more accessible. Like, I can actually get my chair around the room, which is better than the first place. And I mean, not around the room, like to my side of the bed, to the bathroom, only if I reverse. Like, there's not turning space. But yeah, and then the bathroom, it's got grab rails by the toilet, but absolutely nothing in the shower. No seat, no grab rails, no nothing. So yeah, it's a nice big, much nicer like wet room than the previous one, but slightly pointless if I can't sit down when I'm having a shower. Otherwise I will have to shower sitting on the floor. And I really want to shower just to warm up a little bit. But yeah, so we asked this morning when we went down for breakfast, and they said that housekeeping would put a shower chair in, and then lo and behold, hours later when we have returned, of course there's no shower chair. So Beth's gone down to ask again so that I can have a warm shower. But yeah, Berlin looked really pretty in the snow this morning. And as I say, like, I just wish that I had the energy to actually see a bit more of it, but I am tired. I've done a lot of brain work and physical energy, like, despite the fact that I'm using my power chair, so I'm not obviously self-propelling, I'm still tired. So I'm going to have a good lie down and a rest, plus have a bit of work to do. So yeah, time for rest.
Yeah.
Beth's putting her hair up. That means she's ready for dinner.
Bon appetit.
Ian and Coco are on the iPad. And I've got a paneer curry in a like ready meal dish, even though it's from a takeaway, which is interesting.
Yes.
And you got a butter chicken?
I did. I'm stripping.
Okay.
Very big meal, that one.
Thank you.
0 spice.
She said tikka masala originally, and I said butter chicken. So it's hiding under the covers.
Hello, everyone.
We don't want to get out of bed.
No.
No, I'm very tired still. We yesterday we watched the America's Top Model documentary, which was a wild ride.
So wild. What on earth?
Yeah. And then, yeah, we went to sleep. So yeah, we basically stayed in bed the whole afternoon, evening, and I'm still knackered. And now we got to get up for breakfast. And then a little bit of adventuring before we go get our plane home.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, that's the alarm to say,
Get up!
get up. Yeah, that was the second alarm to be like, get up.
And look at us, not getting up.
One alarm to wake us up and one alarm to be like, get out of bed. Yeah, I have no idea how Ebony, my editor, is doing a new series on TikTok called Blink and I'm Abroad, where she literally flies into a country, the earliest flight, and flies back home, the latest flight. And I'm just like, I've had a whole 48 hours and I don't want to get back on a plane. I don't know how she does it. But yeah, we will
Get up. I'm so tired.
Oh.
So tired.
Then go home and see Puppy.
Yeah, I would like to go home and see my puppy, but that won't be until like at least 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. But we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Let's go.
Woo!
We did eventually make it up and out of bed, and our first stop was to do a short little walk to the Berlin Wall Memorial, which was really interesting, finding about all the different things that happened along this stretch and all of the different people that were living in East and West Germany, and especially I found the stories where families were split onto different sides of the wall. Really, really sad and heartfelt, and yeah, there are some brilliant stories, so I highly recommend going to visit. There was a really helpful map on one of those pillars which kind of showed you whereabouts you were so you could follow it in the right direction. So we kept following it to the next bit, and this was showing some of the remnants of some of the houses that were kind of directly in line with the wall, and here is where you got some of the really interesting stories about people living on either side of the wall. And there was also a lot of information about the tunnels that people were using to try and get from one side of the other to the other. And yeah, just a really great thing to learn a bit more about. Here are people on a ladder trying to see their neighbours on the other side of the wall, and this couple got married and their grandparents were seeing them from their window on one side of the wall. Yeah, lots of incredible but heartbreaking stories. Again, just showing that my Rule C2 is made for all terrain by dealing with this icy path. Eventually on the path you get to this church, and it was really beautiful to see this incredible structure. We are on a little adventure. It's very cold. I think it's like -4, so it's a bit icy everywhere, but yeah, we've just been to look at the Berlin Wall Memorial, and now we're heading towards Museum Island to go and do a bit more sightseeing and hopefully find somewhere to warm my freezing cold fingers. I don't think people realise how much, as a wheelchair user using a power chair, your fingers get absolutely freezing on the joystick. So we are cold, but we are in appropriate clothing.
Yes, we are prepared for the weather.
We're prepared for the weather, and yeah, let's go see some more sights. For our next stop, we're headed towards the Berlin Tower, which is a really, really cool point, which you'll see in just a moment. This was the area surrounding it. There's lots of museums and things around here, but it is not wheelchair accessible, sadly, because although there is a lift up, there is no safe way at all to get down if you were involved in a fire, so they don't let wheelchair users who can't do, I think it's definitely a ridiculous number of steps, go up there, but it would give you a great view of Berlin. As I said, there's lots of museums in this area, and we decided to go to the Museum of Illusions, which was great.
Walk back up.
Because it was -3 or something.
Like on there, it looks like flat, like going up and down.
I mean, you're getting smaller and bigger in this camera screen.
Like once you're in it, it doesn't feel weird, but from there it's like, oh.
It's weird because even from this angle, it kind of looks a lot less steep than it is. It actually looks flatter here from this angle.
Let me. Come with me, everyone. Look. Although you can't.
But then you can see how low down I am, surely.
Wait, it's not on this thingy. Look, she's all the way down there. Bum, 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 bum. Look, it doesn't really look steep on there either. But it is, guys, I promise.
Because look, we'll show them how steep it is, because...
Yeah, okay, I see the steepness here.
Like, this is how steep it is.
Yeah, you can see it there. What do you see?
I see lots of Beths. See Beth taking a picture.
It's the Jenni universe.
You're just living in it.
I am.
Oh, there's colour behind you. Oh. Oh, look. Look, look, look. You did that green thing.
I don't know how I select it.
Oh, you're doing it. I don't know how you're doing it. Maybe you just jump back in? No? Oh?
I'm so confused. Brush.
Oh! You just did the orange. Yeah. Oh!
What? Oh! I see. Well, that's actually really cool. Wait, I want to use the colour. I don't know how.
I don't.
I'm quite uncomfortable actually.
Where did she go? Yeah, it kind of does. Being very brave and taking a train. The woman at the station was very helpful, but I'm nervous about doing this, going on the underground when I'm in London, so let's see what it's like in Berlin. You ready?
I think so.
Let's go!
This one. Thank you so much, elevator lady.
So we need U8. It says U. I'm following you. It says U this way, so. Aha!
I see.
We definitely know where we're going. U8. Okay, so there's a little wheelchair person.
Platform 6?
Well, no, I was assuming it was. Okay. Platforms. So it says U8 in this lift. Do we go down this lift? There's U8 there.
Yeah?
What does it say? Yeah, so I'm assuming this lift.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay. We're already lost and confused. We thought we were going to U8, but we're on U5.
The lift wasn't.
The lift says U8 on it. So
Maybe that's just all the places.
okay, we'll try again. So we found the machine to validate the tickets.
You miss this if you're getting the lift.
You miss it if you're getting the lift. So now we think on the right platform.
wheelchair on that?
Oh, so do you think that means number 3? Like
No, that's
like
3
the
minutes.
third oh.
I think.
Okay, so we can only get the one in 3 minutes that's wheelchair accessible and the other one isn't?
I am guessing, yes. Maybe there's a sign somewhere.
There was a sign on the train where it was like wheelchair, so we will find the wheelchair. It was about here-ish, or a bit further. We will wait here, and we will see.
Assume there'd be like a bit. Wheelchair. Okay. All right, it's every few. Yeah. Nice. That wasn't nerve-wracking. That gap. Look at that gap. Look at it.
We did it. We made it. Now we've got to get on.
Yeah.
We did it. I'm proud of us. Are you proud of us?
Yeah, and well, wait till we get out of it.
There's a lift. I think we're good. Beth absolutely rejoiced at the fact that we got out of the lift and she could see McDonald's instantly.
It just made me feel like I know where I am. We made it. It's fine.
We got a train. And it was pretty accessible, apart from the gap, but it was fine. I made it. So we've made it to the shopping centre near our hotel so that we can get our taxi to the airport. And we're going to find some lunch and somewhere to charge my chair.
Yes.
Because despite charging it briefly at the Illuseum Museum, it has 33%. It really doesn't like the cold, this battery. To be fair, we've gone a pretty decently long way today.
We have.
Like, it was over an hour's walk and then we did 2 Potters.
Then we charged it to 58 and it's already at 30.
Yeah, because it's cold, I think.
so-
It's not happy with the cold. So, yes, we will go inside, get the chair warm, get me warm, and eat some food, and then see where we can steal some charge from. So we've had a bit of a whistle-stop tour through Berlin airport because our taxi driver was perfectly on time, but there was traffic, so it took a lot longer than planned. But we had a lovely guy from the mobility services, as they call it here, take us all the way through.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Which was really nice and really helpful, especially in a place we didn't know. But in security, I've never had a pat down like it. She was like doing my looking in my waistbands and stuff. I was a bit like,
she did that
okay.
to me as well.
And then there was that, but then a policewoman came over and they were speaking to each other in German, and I had no idea what was going on. Basically, what they wanted was to put my cushion on my wheelchair through the scanner, but I didn't know that, and they weren't the best at communicate. Because I'm not having a standing day, so I tried just holding myself up on my arms, and they tried so they could take the cushion away, but I forgot that we'd strapped the cushion down ready for the flight.
Yeah.
So they couldn't do that. So then I ended up transferring onto this tiny little footstool on the floor.
Yeah.
The thing is, you'd think that they'd have come across this enough to have a chair there so someone could transfer into the chair and then transfer back, but apparently not. They were all very nice about it.
It was all very.
But it was all quite a lot, and yeah.
It could have been scarier.
Yes.
It was just like,
100%.
What's happening?
Yeah, we just didn't understand what was going on. And then we, came all the way through to the gate and passport control and all of that really easy, and we're just waiting to get on the plane. So that's Auf Wiedersehen in Berlin. It's been good, but I am very, very tired, and I'm looking forward to getting home.
Yes.
So yeah, let's get on. It's not there yet. Is it?
Is that one fine?
Oh yeah, I think it's here. It's our plane. We're going home.
Okay.
We've made it safely on the plane. It's a much nicer plane than the way out as well. So
And lots of lovely people helped us.
yes, very lovely people helped us onto the plane and stuff this time. So that was all nice and easy. And Beth and I have got the transfer to the aisle chair while she secures the wheel and I take the cushion. And we've got it down to a fine art now. In
So
2
for
goes.
next time.
Yeah. So yeah, we're saying bye Berlin. Morning, gorgeous friends. It is Sunday. I am wiped out.
I didn't sleep very well last night, which didn't help. But basically, Friday was strange because obviously we got back quite late on Thursday night, and I pretty much, like, it wasn't even that particularly late, but I was in bed by 10 o'clock and slept through till about 10 o'clock. And then Poppy was here and we were kind of working as normal. Of course, like, I feel like January and February were really quiet for us, kind of work and emails wise. And then, of course, the 2 days I'm away, we get every single email under the sun. So, you know, it was nearly 2 o'clock and we were still just going through emails and catching up on things. But we actually had a really productive day. We scheduled a load of content. We did the content plan for the rest of February and all of March to kind of make sure that I'm not expending too much energy when I've already got a lot on. Pacing, that's what we're trying to do, pacing. And then, yeah, we had a really productive day, but I was just sat on the sofa curled up, so it felt quite good. But then yesterday I did just kind of crash out. I just chilled, I played my Switch, I watched TV, I did some colouring. I literally started a full rewatch of Call the Midwife from the very beginning, like fairly late into January, and I'm already caught up. So yeah, now I'm not really knowing what to watch. So I've just put Long Lost Families on, and then I'll see if I can find something new to binge. And then, yeah, my only main issue has been that my ear. It happened to me when we went to Berlin that my ears were really bad. Not going up so much, but coming down. And it was really, really painful. And I tried some new things on the way back, but it didn't help. And actually, like, my ear, this side is still hasn't released from the plane, which is really annoying, especially because Ian has mild hearing loss anyway, and he also has some like blocked up ear issues, and then he speaks very quietly. So normally I'm able to hear him and kind of work out what he said, but it's literally just us been going what at each other for the last couple of days. But yeah. Oh, the other thing I did watch yesterday on YouTube, I'll put the link down below, is the new deaf dating show, Hold My Hand, which is presented by the lovely Herman and Herida. So yeah, you need to watch that because it was so funny and so good and so sweet as well. So I highly recommend watching that. It's all in BSL. So it was really helping me, like, remember some of my BSL, but also like teaching me new bits of BSL in a much more natural way than trying to learn it like sign by sign. So that was really cool. But yeah, I am tired, so we're gonna do a big old rest today. Thank you for coming along on this adventure with me. I'm so, like, I'm very proud of myself for getting on a plane as a wheelchair user. That was something that I was extremely nervous about. I'm proud of myself for getting the train in another country. Again, like, it was fully accessible, but it's something that I'm just so nervous about because of the experiences I've had in London. So yeah, it's been a successful week of facing fears, and, you know, both me and Wilma, my wheelchair, got to and from Berlin in one piece, so I couldn't have wished for anything more. But I'm very glad to be home to my bed and my dog without access issues around food and places like we had at the hotel. But yeah, I really enjoyed exploring Berlin. Lots of people said to me that it wasn't particularly accessible, but I found it pretty accessible. Don't get me wrong, there were quite a lot of shops and things that had steps that you couldn't get in. But, you know, when we got into, you know, you could get into all the supermarkets. When we got into the main area with all the museums and the tower and that kind of thing, like, there was plenty to do. You can't do the tower, unfortunately, because they don't have a way to, there's a lift up and a lift down, but they don't have a way to successfully evacuate you if that fails. So you're not allowed, because it's 900 steps down to evacuate. So I don't think there's many non-disabled people that would be really, really able to do that well in an evacuation situation, but you know, I definitely can't. But yeah, I found it a relatively accessible place. So yeah, I'm gonna get some rest, find something new to watch. I hope you've had a good week, and I hope you've enjoyed coming along on this one with me. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, I'd love it if you'd hit subscribe, and I'll see you very soon for another video.